A lot of Russian rock and roll fans, estimated at nearly 500,000 strong, showed up at a Moscow airfield on Saturday to take in a concert sponsored by America's Time Warner Entertainment conglomerate and billed as a gift to Russian youth for their resistance to a recent attempted coup by communist hardliners. AC/DC, Metallica, the Black Crowes, and Pantera were the headliners, along with a Russian band called EST. And the show itself went like this.
We've been stuck here at the airport for the last 2 hours waiting for our visas. So we'll see what happens. But so far the airport's really nice. I didn't expect to see bikers like Hell's Angels guys, dude.
Gentlemen, where's the crowd, guys?
Glad to be here.
Mate, I tell you what it is. It's something special, isn't it? I thought it sounded like, but well. We're busy. Thank you very much. What a good bunch of guys. Vodka. Listen, just for you. Thanks very much, mate. We'll have a coffee after.
When the kids went to Woodstock, they didn't think about anything like this. They didn't think that they're making history. They thought that okay, there's going to be a good fun or a big concert or good dope or whatever. But here, they all feel that this is something which is totally changing their life, something they never saw before.
So now we finally do get to rock the block.
How important to you is rock and roll?
Rock and roll forever.
Our life. I've always wanted to be at a pivotal point in history, really, you know, and this is.
But they say it was, you know, it's a little depressing here and stuff like that, but, you know, it's just very different, and there's a lot of beauty. Red Square, the change of the guard and all that, it's just incredible. It's incredible. I love it.
We are EST and you are MTV. Freundschaft, friendship, дружба.
It's people as far as you can see. I have not, and of course it's a great army, I guess. If there's as many armies there is people, though. There's everywhere.
Would not feel so everybody must get stoned. Everybody must get stoned. Everybody must get themselves good and stoned. Everybody must get themselves sometimes.
Just like in the West, heavy metal crowd here is very big, but also, you know, it's very restricted. I mean, it's like a cult.
When we went out there, the crowd was so into it, and they were so up for seeing us. It was great. It was like, you know, playing a regular, you know, Western country.
They wanted Metallica, they wanted AC/DC for what they had done in their jobs in averting the coup and all that. So I think today really has opened up for us to come in.
It's like Donington plus 10, isn't it? It's like it was 600,000 over there. I don't know. Come on! Dirty things and doctors. Come on! Dirty things and doctors. Dirty things and doctors. Concrete shoes. Cyanide. TNT doctors. Neckties. Guns. High voltage doctors.
There's apparently considerable drinking going on at the Moscow show, and there were intermittent skirmishes with the nearly 12,000 police and soldiers that surrounded the crowd. Military helicopters also hovered overhead, but nevertheless, a good time was apparently had by a very large number of people. The group. Gone for good, however, is Black Crowes guitarist Jeff Cease, who's been replaced in that band by Mark Ford from another group called Burning Tree, which opened for the Black Crowes on tour last year. In explaining Cease's departure from the band, frontman Chris Robinson alluded to the group's last tour, which ran for more than a year and a half. Let's say 5 guys go off to war for 19 months, Robinson observed. Chances are not all of them will come back. Well, Black Crowes are wrapping up sessions for the follow-up to their multi-platinum debut album, Shake Your Moneymaker, which was released nearly 2 years ago. The band has a new guitarist on board this time out, original member Jeff Cease having been replaced by Mark Price from a band called Burning Tree. This lineup change has required some adjustments, not only on Price's part, but also on the part of the Crowes' remaining original guitarist, Rich Robinson.
I was a little nervous because we only rehearsed like for 3 days, and so I had to learn like a batch of songs in 3 days, and we were recording on the 4th day, and I was, whoa.
On the first record, the second guitar parts were real simple, you know, but the ones that he, you know, that he and I like sat down and worked on, it came up with really intricate, and they make the song warrant second guitar parts, which is really cool.
Black Crowes' new album will be out this spring. In living legend,
the Black Crowes are in the process of making the follow-up to their multi-platinum Shake Your Moneymaker album. This time around, the band is working with the same producer, George Draculius. The songs are heavier, and they've got a new guitarist named Mark Ford. We dropped by the studio in Atlanta to find out what else has changed. The new Black Crowes album should be out in late spring. As for our new music this week,
Nirvana, a band that came out of nowhere, well, Seattle, to top the charts recently with its second album, Nevermind. But Nirvana is more than just a commercial phenomenon. As one of the band's biggest fans, Black Crowes frontman Chris Robinson is eager to emphasize.
Everyone was so fascinated by Nirvana because they sold so many records. Why couldn't you be fascinated by them? Because that guy writes really good lyrics and they rock, you know? No one really mentioned any of that. It was just the phenomenal success of Nirvana. See them next week, you know, like what?
Creative differences apparently had nothing to do with the recent departure of guitarist Jeff Cease from the Black Crowes and his replacement by Mark Ford for the recording of the band's upcoming album. Here's how frontman Chris Robinson explained the split to our MTV Europe colleagues at the recent opening of the Euro Disney amusement complex outside of Paris.
I think describing him as a casualty would be about the best I could do. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I'm sure that sounds like, oh, you're horrible to say that, but what do you want me to say? That's true, you know? Like every other band comes out and goes, so you left the band because of artistic differences. There were no artistic differences. He couldn't play with my brother anymore, you know? Like, he didn't... Why have a subtraction when to the tapestry of music we're making, we would like an addition? Mark Ford.
The Black Crowes' new guitarist Mark Ford will be on view in the band's new video for the song A Remedy, which will be premiering on MTV on Monday at 5:30 and 10 p.m. East and West. The group's new album, the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, will be out next month.
Our mentality is, here, you know, we got the chance to get up and do our thing. Some people dug it. Cool. You like that? Well, we ran off into our house and we said, you know, yeah. We came up with some new things. You know, it's called the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, featuring a choice collection of tunes, psalms, odes, and anthems. We put the songs together, and then we recorded the record actually in about 8 days of actual, like, work.
It took us 6 weeks to write the first record. I mean, you know, we'd written songs up to that point, but then we just wrote more and tossed those. And this time was even the same way.
I don't really care about being perfect.
You can't sit down and overthink it. And you know, if the record sells 40 million or 400 copies, you know, it's like I don't care. The important thing is that Chris and I like to listen to it at home.
We're really thinking about commercial mindedness. Really, it's the Black Crowes' main focus this year.
Black Crowes premiered a number of songs from their upcoming new album last weekend at an unusual free concert in the band's hometown of Atlanta. The show was mounted on behalf of the Georgia chapter of NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. And it came at a time when marijuana is once again in the news. Democratic presidential candidate Bill Clinton recently puzzled many past and present potheads with his assertion that he'd once tried marijuana in England but didn't inhale it and yet nevertheless didn't like it anyway. And the U.S. Public Health Service has puzzled perhaps even more people by proposing a ban on the use of medicinal marijuana, which is now legitimately used to treat people with AIDS, asthma, and glaucoma. With all of this in mind, we stopped by the Atlanta Pot Festival last weekend, and here's what we saw and heard.
I think David Crosby said, let your freak flag fly. You know, that sounds a little funny, but I think that's sort of what it's about.
The Black Crowes were what this year's Great Atlanta Pot Festival was all about. In past years, the event drew around 5,000 people. This year, 60,000 people showed up with their freak flags, tie-dye T-shirts, and the mind-altering substance in question. The National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws sponsored the event, hoping to show politicians just how many people support the legalization of marijuana.
Well, sad to say, there aren't a lot of bands who are brave enough as the Black Crowes to come right out and say, we're not hypocrites, we're one of the many, we're one of the 40 to 50 million Americans who smoke marijuana, and we're not going to deny it.
Those who attended this event say it's as much about pot as it is about individual rights.
Even though I don't smoke marijuana, I believe in the right to choose, and that our political system has gotten too conservative and has restricted our rights.
George Washington grew pot. Every colonial person in this country grew pot. And it's an industrial product. You can make all sorts of things out of it. You can make paper, and much cheaper than you can use trees.
Although a lot of people are motivated by the music, probably just as many motivated by the politics of keeping the police and the authorities out of our homes and out of our backyards.
A bunch of people can come have a really good time and no one hurts each other and no one gets arrested, and it's all just a very fun afternoon. I mean, something that simple. It's like a good meal or a nice bottle of wine or a conversation with a stranger in a train session that makes you laugh, you know. I mean, it's called human being things, you know, man. I don't speak banker or lawyer or customs official or warden, you know. I speak American and human being and musician, you know.
Whatever you say, Chris.
The Black Crowes will have a new single out next week called A Remedy from their upcoming album, The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, which will be released next month. The surprise success of the
Musical Companion, their first album in nearly 3 years. The band will make another eagerly anticipated return late next month when it kicks off a U.S. tour. The Crowes are in Japan right now on a warm-up tour, and just before they left, we checked out their tour rehearsals for this report.
The
Black Crowes' second album, The Southern Harmony and Musical Companion, entered the Billboard album charts at #1, which is cause for celebration for most people. The Black Crowes, however, are not impressed.
You know, that's sort of an odd situation to be in if I say, man, we're so happy to be #1 that I'm going to run out and buy myself a car that drives faster than anything you can see.
The record sells 40 million or 400 copies, you know, it's like, I don't care. The important thing is that Chris and I like to listen to it at home. And that sounds good to us and something that we can be proud of.
I don't know. It's all right. I want to go on the road, you know.
Give the folks back.
If you have to have a #1 record to go out on tour, then okay, I'll accept it.
So in preparation for their upcoming High as the Moon World Tour, the Crowes have been rehearsing in LA.
We hate rehearsals. There's no party after rehearsals. I mean, you just sort of, you know, get back in the van and drive back to the hotel and sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Yeah, until everyone's crying. We honestly do want to have a different night every night. We want to have the best show every night, you know? I want to blow everyone in my band's mind every night, and that means I want to blow everyone's mind. And I want them to go, wow, you know? If that kills you, that kills you. If it makes you go crazy, it makes you go crazy. If your teeth fall out, you smell of urine, and you go bald, so be it.
Consider yourself warned or something. And true to their ideals, the Crowes won't allow any corporate sponsorship of their tour.
Well, I mean, it's greed. You make a lot of money, you know, but I feel that you make enough money if you sell records and make good music and go on the road and people dig it. Why, you know, what am I going to do with even more? You know, I mean, you get paid for what